Escoffier is coming up on our next serving of banners, if you get what I mean there. And is she worth pulling for F2P players? Is she worth all those primos that people have been saving up for the past few banners? If you have. Now, so here's an overview of what we know so far. Now, she's a chef from Fontaine and she's a cryopolam character. She is mainly has been targeted to freeze teams on the information we know so far, and she needs the following for her ascension. The drops that are coming up from the upcoming boss, that is the secret source automaton overseer device, and you need, I think, about 168 beryl conscious. Then apart from that, for her talents you will need the philosophies of justice and drops from the Lord of Eroded Primal Fire. Now let's look into her kit. Now her kit is sort of similar to that of Furina, and when I say sort of similar, I mean it to how Furina summons her little pets. Now, same way Escoffier summons a cooking mech. Now, her elemental skill is basically called the low temperature. Her elemental skill, the low temperature cooking, is when you use her elemental skill, depending on whether you tap or hold, the way response varies. But if you tap, it summons her cooking mech, which will follow her around, dealing AoE cryo damage at intervals, and she will summon a surging blade dealing AoE cryo damage herself. Her skill has a cooldown of 15 seconds and the mech stays on the field for 20 seconds. So it is very likely that the mech will be on the field a lot of the time. Now, if you hold her elemental skill, you will unleash the mech, where you activate the off-the-cuff cookery mode, where the mech remains stationary and it absorbs elemental damage. Now, when it absorbs a certain amount of elemental damage, it can convert the ingredients placed in it into food. And whether it will serve some other purpose in combat is still unsure. But so this basically acts like a portable transform device, I guess. I'm not really sure about that. Now, her elemental burst, it's called the scoring cuts, where she deals AoE cryo damage and heals party members based off attack. So we're gonna need a lot of attack on her. Now, it costs about 60 energy and the cooldown is 15 seconds, so you can always have your burst up on cooldown. It's not going to be too hard. She's a support character, or that's how she is being seen in her leaks. So this tells us that Escoffier is attack dependent character, so we will have to load her with a lot of attack. I think, I'm not really sure, maybe a good amount of energy recharge, and her being a support character that deals with free streams tells us that she might be one of the sports that's being released for Skirk, like how Jilonen was released from Moavika, like that. Now, Skirk, on the other hand, is one of the most awaited characters, who is supposedly to be released in the next few patches. I think 5.7 or 0.8, not really sure about that one. And so maybe Escoffier might be required for Skirk, as Skirk is a DPS, maybe, and Skirk is supposedly going to be one of the best cryo characters to be released so far. So maybe sure. And Skirk is supposedly a cryo DPS. Now, Escoffier's passives are tailored towards free streams. So, and depending on the number of hydro or cryo users on the party, she will decrease the amount of hydro and cryo resistance of any opponent that has been hit by her skill or burst. Now, Escoffier's signature weapon is the Symphonist of Sense, which is a polearm that has that substat is crit damage. Now, its passive is that it increases attack by 12 to 24% when the equipping character is off field. Now, it is again increased by 12 to 24% even on field, and when the character is healed, they get a sweet echoes. I'm not really sure what that is, but with that increases the attack by 32 to 64% for 3 seconds, which can be triggered even when off field. Now, all we have to do is wait for the live stream, which will be on, I think, the coming Friday, and which will confirm or deny all the rumors that have been floating about it. So, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Like, share, and subscribe. Do let me know what you think of Escoffier. Bye bye.